In this session, we're going to figure out how long it takes for light to travel through space and reach us here on this pale blue dot known as Earth. Now we know the distance between the Earth and the Sun is about 93 million miles, or 93 times 10 to the 6th miles. We also know that the speed of light is exactly equal to 299,792,458 meters per second. But you never usually see it written out like that. It's about 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. Now, one of the things that we need to do is we need to either convert units of miles over to meters or units of meters over to miles. Since we're working with the SI system, we're going to take this distance given in miles, and we're going to first convert that distance over to units of meters so that we can figure out how long it takes for light to travel this distance, this 93 million miles. So what you should see is that 93 times 10 to the 6 miles, we're going to convert this over to units of meters, so you know that 1 mile is exactly equal to 1.61 kilometers. And what you should immediately see is that this unit of miles cancels out with this unit of miles. You're left with units of kilometers. So now what you're going to do is you're going to convert units of kilometers over to units of meters. So you know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. And what you should see is that this unit of kilometers cancels out with this unit of kilometers, and you're left with units of meters. Now, this number works out to be 1.5 times 10 to the 11th meters. So now we have both of our units in SI. So now both the distance light has to travel, this 1.5 times 10 to the 11th meters, is in the same units as the speed with which light travels, which is 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. So since light travels at a constant velocity, all we need to do to figure out time is say that, well, the velocity of light is equal to the distance it travels, and let's represent it with a d, divided by time. So in order to figure out how long it takes for light to travel this 93 million miles, all we have to do at this point is solve this equation for the time. And to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply both sides of this equation by time. And when you do that, you should see that this unit of time cancels out with that unit of time, and you get time times velocity equals distance. But now we need to know what the time is, how long it takes for light to travel this distance at this rate. So what we're going to do to both sides of this equation now is divide by the velocity or speed of light. And what you should see is that this unit of velocity cancels out with this unit of velocity, and we get the time it takes for light to travel from the surface of the sun. This 93 million miles is going to equal the distance between the sun and the earth divided by the velocity of light. Now, we can plug in the information that we know. We know that the distance light has to travel is going to be this 1.5 times 10 to the 11th meters. And we know that the speed with which light is traveling is 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. Now, when you do this in your calculator, you should get 499.1 seconds. And to make sense of that number, 499 seconds, let's convert that over to units of minutes. So I know 60 seconds are in 1 minute. And when I do that, notice that this unit of second cancels out with this unit of second, and you're left with units of minutes, which in this case it works out to be 8.3 minutes. So it takes light 8.3 minutes to travel from the surface of the sun through space and reach us here on Earth.